All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Ebonie again, a.k.a. Fit Mom Diva of Simplicity Health Style, and today we have Miss Patrique with us. How are you, Patrique?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. And for those of you that choose to stick around to the end, we will have an opportunity for a complimentary gift. So stick around and listen to what Miss Patrique wants to share with us today. So, Patrique, just so that we get to know you a little bit better, can you start us off by sharing one motivational quote that really inspires you, something that gets you going and encourages you?
So, to start off, anybody who knows me knows I love quotes. Like, if you look at my wall from I was 10 to now, it's just a sheet of just quotes everywhere. My computer at work, it's like there's a sticky note that just has nothing but quotes. I write them all over my notebook, everything. But my personal motivational quote is from a letter my dad wrote me when I was a baby. And it is, "In my spirit, I shall see you and always be with you," because my dad passed away when I was in the 3rd grade. And that's just kind of what gets me going every day. I'm just like, God, I can't do this. It's been a long day. You know, nobody's here to push me, but I'm just like, wait, but there's somebody like right here. This is kind of pushing me through the day. So that's my go-to for anything. And I even have it like tatted on me and everything. So that's my go-to inspirational and motivational quote for everything.
That is so beautiful. And I think that your father passing in the 3rd grade, that means you were about 8 years old. Yeah. And I'm sure that at 8 years old, you don't really fully understand that, no. It's probably big shocker to your mind. One day you see your dad and the next day you don't, Yeah. And you are old enough at 8 years old to understand a lot of things. But when it comes to death, experiencing that from someone so close to you at 8 years old, that could be a challenging thing. And particularly when your other 8-year-old friends haven't experienced it and they have their dad around and they're talking about Father's Day and all that stuff, and you're like, yeah, well, my dad died, and you're 8, like processing.
Yeah, they're just like that.
Yeah, it seems like it would be very difficult at that age.
Yeah,
I think that is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about a time in your life, and maybe you even want to expand on that? Talk about a time in your life where you didn't necessarily see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you had to overcome some obstacles, maybe some mindset challenges or some circumstances. But at the end of the day, you were able to see your goal or your dream to fruition.
So I guess like everybody through life, I have my own, personal challenges, from being 8, losing my dad. From 9, I was adopted. 10, I moved from Jamaica to America. So it's a lot of changes happening. And in that time and space, trying to figure out, who I am as a person. I'm only like 8, 9, 10 years old. Why am I asking myself this question? And trying to figure out who I am and navigating the world and trying to figure out my place where I am in that time and space. And so there are a lot of my personal challenges come from those, but I guess I've spent more time recently reflecting on all of that, because a lot of those challenges are what are impacting me now, in a sense, because I'm trying to figure out still, what my purpose is, who I am, where I'm going, and nobody has all the answers. And I was talking to my supervisor a couple weeks ago, and she was just like, you have to be okay with not knowing all the answers. And life is about literally trying to figure things out, because no one knows what's happening at every single point of the day. And I guess my recent personal struggle is just kind of trying to figure out where I'm going next. I'm 23. I graduated college almost exactly a year ago. And I've put this insane amount of pressure on myself trying to figure out, oh my God, I need to have this, and this figured out by next year, or I'm just going to be a failure as an adult. And it's like, I'm going to make my parents so embarrassed and like not proud of me and all these things. And so I'm just like, you know what? It's okay. You don't know everything. You have to stop pressuring yourself. And that kind of puts all this anxiety that people my age are going through now, because we're all trying to figure it all out so fast and don't give ourselves the grace and the courtesy of making mistakes and learning and growing. And we're trying to grow up overnight. And I think it's something we've been trying to do since we were kids, because people are always like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm
Yeah.
grown up. I still don't know what I want to do. And I was like, you know what, baby steps. I'm trying to figure out, okay, so I just graduated and I feel the need to go back to school. And I don't know if it's because I want to do it or if it's the expectation of going back and getting my master's, but I'm trying to figure that path out right now. And it's also so hard because I have this pressure and I have this anxiety, and it's like I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing at work and figuring out what I'm doing personally, and I'm trying to find balance with work and myself and friends. And it's easier to just kind of shut down. And I'm that person that I will try to figure things out by myself. I'm stubborn as hell, but I will try to figure it out before I go to other people. And I'm trying to get myself to realize I can't do this all on my own all the time. Like, yes, it's great being independent and trying to figure things out and pushing myself, but it's also great to, and I guess this will go into our point later about finding a support system, but I have to reach out to other people because I'm not the only person going through this. And I had a talk with one of my really close friends like about a week ago, and he was going through the exact same thing. And I was like, you know what? You're a better friend than I am because you actually came to me and said that you were going through this. Meanwhile, I locked myself up in my room with a glass of wine trying to figure this out. So, that's really it. I'm still trying to find the light at the end of the tunnel, but I think I'm getting some clarity now that I've had that conversation, knowing that I'm not the only person trying to figure it all out, and knowing that, I'm not alone in this, and knowing that I don't have to have this all figured all out right now, and just kind of giving myself the space and grace to grow.
Yes, and that's why we have friends, right? So that we can talk to our friends, right? It's so funny how when you actually open up your mouth and you start talking to your friends, you realize that you are going through a lot of the same things.
Exactly.
So what I do, and I know one of my friends, she probably is like, okay, here goes Ebonie. She's going to talk my head off for 2 hours, but she always allows me to do it, so I do it. So there's one friend that I have where, we might not talk for a little while, but when we do talk, I would literally sit there, and if she allowed me to talk straight for 2 hours, I probably would talk straight for 2 hours. But she's okay with that. And I think that, if you have friends that really love you, they don't mind you opening your mouth and telling them what's going on with you. That's why they're your friend. Exactly. So I think that, at times, try to figure things out for yourself, because you as an independent person, you don't always want to rely on somebody else. But if you keep hitting your head up against the wall, then utilize your support system.
Exactly.
And I think that ties into our next thing, that perception that you don't have support is sometimes what derails you from achieving your dreams and moving from point A to point B to Z. Can you talk a little bit about ways that people can seek out a support system? Some of us might even have a support system, but the people around us don't even necessarily know how to help us, even though they would love to. They don't know how to help us with our particular vision or our particular dream, because they're just not savvy in that area. So can you talk a little bit about how people can gain a support system?
So I guess from my personal experience is accepting the fact, first off, that you have to find one. Like it's not, you can't put that burden on yourself to have life figured out from point A to Z and do it all alone. Like you just have to accept that first. I think from there, knowing that your family's always there is always a plus, because, well, they put you in this world and you can't really be here. You're not here without them. So you kind of have to lean back on them at all times almost, because they're the ones that are going to help guide you. They're the ones that have all this experience that, lo and behold, you might be going through the exact same things that they went through at your age. So it's always important to rely on family. And then if family isn't the best option, then there are friends. You went to school with people, you met people randomly on the street that now you're sharing your whole life with, that they are always there. And even when you fall on your face, they will sit there and laugh with you and then pick you right back up and dust you off and kind of help you find your foot again. And so your friends and your family are always going to be there to guide you in everything you do. But a support system that I didn't think about until more recently that I've started to utilize a little bit more is my support system at work. I didn't think that was something that happened or people had, but I found kind of my little group of people that I know have the experience and things that I want to achieve later down the road. And people who I know have not had, I guess, a perfect life. So I can go to them for perspective at all times. I know that there's one person that I can go to at work and I can sit there and talk about anything and everything. And I've considered her my mentor since I started working there, because she'll lay it out for me. She won't sugarcoat it. She'll tell me, you know, this is what you've told me. These are the facts, and this is how we're going to handle it. And knowing that even away from home and away from your friends, you can have a support group at work, especially when there are things happening at work that you're going to need to get your escape from or get perspective on. It's been super helpful and relieving.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. Your support can really come from a variety of places that you spend time. And it can also come from the online space. That's one thing that I always recommend to people as well, particularly if they are active online. Finding online communities and the particular topic or interest area that you have can be extremely helpful. You know, these people don't know you from Adam, but they can offer you some encouraging words of wisdom, or can talk to you about things that they've gone through. And you guys don't know anything about each other except for the fact that you belong in the same online group to start off with. But it can flourish into a beautiful, you know, friendship or relationship.
Yeah.
So utilizing the online space, I think, can be very helpful too. And then taking time and exploring your local community. There are so many community groups that people are not necessarily aware of because they just didn't take the time to research it. As you just said, just step outside your comfort zone and look for a support group. Out of all these billions of people on this earth, are you saying that you can't find one person to help offer you support? There's always one person, at least one person. There's more than that, but you can't find one person that can offer you support to help you through life. You can. You just haven't taken the steps to actually make that happen.
Yeah.
So that leads into the next thing. So we have our support system, and we feel like we just don't have a lot of energy to carry out our dreams. Can you talk a little bit about the relationship between self-care and realizing our purpose and sharing our gifts with the world? Because we all know that there are times when we get overly overwhelmed and stressed, and society can sometimes feel like it's pressuring us, and we just don't even know where to turn. So can you talk a little bit about the relationship between self-care and utilizing our gifts, and maybe some self-care strategies that you have used for yourself in the past or even presently?
So self-care is something I'm trying to do better at, because I am great at boxing myself in, and all going back to the trying to figure it out. It's very stressful, and it creates a lot of anxiety, and it can crush me sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there are days where I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. I'll go to work, I'll come home, I will take a shower, eat some food, and just pass out. And the next day I'll wake up like, wow, I could have gone to the gym. Look at that. I just wasted a whole night. I could have spent 1 hour just working out, or sitting and reflecting, or, you know, eating something that was healthier. I'll stop by Chick-fil-A because it's right around the corner from the house, and I'll just grab something because it's convenient. But I guess strategies to take care of yourself can range anywhere, or personally, it ranges anywhere from taking time out of my day, even at work, to just kind of sit and breathe. And I'm someone who thinks as much as I talk, a mile a minute. So I have to, like, I have this book and I write everything down in it, because I know if I don't take the time to write something down, my head's going to explode. And it helps so much with processing and getting things done during the day, because I'm not overworking my brain and extending myself so far that I can't even process. And then when I get home, it's making the conscious decision to either do some yoga, stretch, breathe, meditate, go to the gym, stuff like that. Like physically get my body to release stress, because I like have to remind myself sometimes to move my body because I can feel the tension in here. Yeah. But it's little reminders like that during the day, just to even move, get up out of your chair and walk around the office and stretch yourself, because you'll sit there and you'll freeze up and you're going to lose your mind.
Yeah.
And then my personal favorite is vegging out in front of Netflix with a face mask on. Like it's not always the best strategy, but there's always that cheat day during the week that you need. You just need to just let loose and just have a slice of pizza and some wine and watch Netflix and just kind of relax your body and your face and not do anything, but just spend time with yourself.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Yeah. Sometimes it's not about perfection and some rigid schedule. It's about you just doing what you feel like you need to do to reset yourself and reset yourself mentally. And I think that, you know, we can sometimes think that we have to pay for self-care. So we have to go and get a manicure or a pedicure or get our hair done or whatever. And that can all be a part of self-care. But sometimes it's as simple as what you just said. Put on some Netflix, you know, get your glass of wine and just relax. You know, I think that we're always on the go. And sometimes people, they have these perceptions of what self-care should look like. And I always say should. Who says it should be done any particular way but someone else, you know? So I think that you just defining what that is for yourself, and that could be coloring in a coloring book. It could be dancing in the house to some music. It could be gardening. It could be you spending 5 hours in the gym if you want to. Whatever it means to you is what's going to provide you with the best fulfillment. If you're doing something just because someone else recommended it because it sounds good, but it doesn't provide you with any fulfillment, then what did you just do with your time? You know, so that's why I say it can really look different for everybody.
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much today. I often will say to people that you don't have to have it all figured out. And I don't think any of us have it all figured out. I think that some of us, we found certain areas in our life that we can speak on very well, but we're all growing. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm still growing until the day I die. Exactly. You know, I don't feel like I've arrived, because if I say that I've arrived, that means I'm going to die any second now. You know? No. So I feel like we're all still growing. We can all learn from each other. And it's okay to take life as an adventure, you know, and to be grateful for the moments that we do have that are positive in our life. Yeah. We can choose to walk through our life and be depressed, knowing that, you know, we're always going to have challenges. Or we could say we're always going to have challenges, and I'm always going to look at what is good going on in my life. You know, it's all mindset. So any of you that are listening, if you feel like this can benefit a family member or a friend, I encourage you to share this content out with them. And if you feel like you also want to share your story, feel free to contact me. All my contact information is in the description box, as well as Patrique. If you want to collaborate or connect with either one of us, feel free to do so. We're very welcome to positive, like-minded people. And for any of you that are struggling and you feel like, you know, I would love to learn a little bit more about my personality type and my gifts, if you join my Nutrition for Busy Women Facebook group, I offer a free assessment so that there's no reason why you can't understand your gifts and your calling that much more. I think that for a lot of people, they feel like, you know, I would do X, Y, Z if only I knew what it was that I'm good at. So I'm going to help you get there. I'm also going to help offer you support in a supportive environment too. Most of the ladies in my group, we're very much about supporting other people, whether we have it figured out or not. So I encourage you to join us. So Patrique, before we end, do you have any last words of encouragement? Anything that you want to share that maybe you feel like could help someone today?
I guess it's the same thing I've been figuring out this whole time. You're not alone in anything you do. Just reach out a hand, and there's always someone there to catch you if you fall.
Yes, she said, make sure that you understand that you can reach out to someone to help support you and that you are not all alone. And having said that, as I said before, if you feel like you are all alone, you don't have anybody else on this earth to talk to, you can reach out to me and I will support you. I love encouraging people, and allowing them to see that they have a lot of value in this world, whether they believe it or not. So thank you so much, Patrique. I appreciate you. And for all of you that are listening, I encourage you, wherever you are in the world, to always remember to live a life full of meaning and purpose. Share this out, and I look forward to speaking with you in our next episode.